Professor Collins,
Okay.
or you know, or not Collins, Colin Walker.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, Mr. Walker. Yeah, yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was one of my
Oh
favorites
yeah.
there.
I took him for
So
sports workshop.
I took lots. Yep. Yeah, I took him for sports workshop. I think I did that like twice.
Yep. Mhm.
Um, and then I had him for I think I had him for field production too.
Okay.
Um, and then then I had Conway.
Mhm.
I don't know if he's still there or not.
Yeah, he is. I had him last
I took him
semester
for a
actually
couple of
for a
classes.
class.
Okay, and then what was her name? Was it Dr. Cox?
Yep, she's still there. Mhm.
I don't know if she's still there. So I had her.
Mhm.
I think it's been so long since I last thought about my professors. That's why I'm like trying to remember some of the names.
Yeah, yeah.
But so I took like sports workshop classes with Walker.
Yep.
And then we did. So then we broadcasted, like VSU basketball games.
Uh-huh.
I think we did volleyball.
Yep.
We might have done volleyball.
Mhm.
And then we did football. So yeah, they were fun. So I was the guy that like I always wanted to like direct
Mhm.
at those games and stuff.
Mhm.
But I think most time, Mr. Walker, he directed the games, and then I ran like replay and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. And then and then what was his name? I don't think he works there anymore, but he retired. But Walt.
Was he
Where you rent like camera gear?
Yes. I'm pretty sure he was there my freshman year because I remember that name.
Freshman, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He was a really cool guy. He's the one that got me like lots of connections when I was in college. So
nice.
I was able to work like Jacksonville Jaguar games and then
That's
Gator
awesome.
like basketball games with like CBS Sports and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if y'all still do that. I don't know if they still like get people to go out there and like help out with them, and you actually get paid for it. So it was really cool.
Yeah, they don't do that. Mm-mm.
Oh really? Oh.
That would have been really cool though.
But yeah, no, they were so much fun. I mean, you were just like being a runner basically, so you weren't doing as much, but it was just cool experience at the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But so like my first job after college, like after I graduated, I want to say like it took me like 5 months because like there's just stuff going on where I could have probably found a job like right away.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really trying at the time because of just circumstances that I was going through. But anyway, so yeah, my first job was in Biloxi, Mississippi, and I love working sports, but I didn't do sports right away.
Mm-hmm.
So in Biloxi, I got a job at a TV station at WLOX, and I was only there for like a year and a half.
Okay.
And basically I started out, this is like 2016. Yeah, 2016. 2016. And job as like a production assistant. And so like the business, it's changed a lot since I first got in. So now, or when I first got in the business, you had production assistants, like people running cameras, prompter, audio, graphics, and then you had like a director, and of course like producer and stuff.
Yep.
But now things are all automated, and so they like eventually like cut jobs. Yeah, they cut jobs. Like the transition with my company, because I've been with Gray Television for like 7 years now.
Okay.
And the transition happened around 2019, where like I said, they cut jobs, and they got, so like when I say they cut jobs, like they got rid of like the audio operator and like all of those. And
yeah.
Do y'all do automation at VSU?
Can you explain that? Maybe I can tell you after you explain that.
All right. So automation is basically, so like I'm a director, and let me backtrack a little bit where so in Biloxi, like I said I was a production assistant,
Mm-hmm.
and so I got to do all sorts of different positions, like the ones I named, like audio, graphics. I got to actually go out in the field and be a photog and stuff.
Okay.
And ran studio cameras and all that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff like that. And then that's eventually like that's where I learned to direct, was down in Biloxi, and that was my goal the entire time, was to be a director. So once I felt like I got the experience that I needed, I then got a job in Memphis, Tennessee, and there I got a job as a director.
Okay.
And so,
Awesome.
as a director, you're in charge of, like, you have a crew. It's the crew that, I just mentioned. And I'm
Yeah.
sure, like, you're probably, did you say you took news classes or just sports?
I took sports workshop both times, and we did the Blazer Sports Report. We did, little shows
Okay, yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. So the Blazer Sports Report, I believe, do y'all still do that, like, in studio?
Yes.
Or, okay. So you have, like, different positions. Everybody, like,
Yep.
does something different. Like, someone runs prompter,
Uh-huh.
cameras, and someone, like, directs, and then you have people that anchor and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, so the director, the guy, like, that's changing the cameras and going from camera to video and stuff, that's what I did. And so yeah, like, you're in charge of, like, telling the camera operators to, like, pan left, pan right.
Yep.
Mic the talent, things like that. Yeah. So that's what I did in Memphis, and I did that for. I was in Memphis for about 4 years. Well, during my time in Memphis, this is back in 2019, where they decided to go automated. And what I mean by automated is you're like for a newscast show, instead of having like 6, 7, 8 different people running the show, it's literally just the producer and director now.
Okay.
And so, like, because the director, they are the ones that control the cameras now. We run audio, we put the graphics up, what else do we do? So it's mainly just those. So, like, it's like a one-man show now instead of, like, actually a two-man show, because you got the director and producer. And so, yeah, basically they just cut jobs in the business, basically, to, save money and stuff.
Yeah.
So does that sort of make sense?
Yeah. So
there's no more, like,
we all have different positions. So there's still graphics. There's still someone running graphics, someone running the audio. Everyone has their each different position. So yeah, we're not automated.
Yeah. So I mean, there are like some companies nowadays that still do it that way, but it's very rare. Because most places they do automation. And basically, what automation is you do a lot of pre-production stuff for, like, news, where it's called coding. So, like, what you're doing. So what rundown do y'all use? Like, do y'all use? I can't remember. It's been so long. So we use something called ENPS, and then there's another one that companies use called iNews. I've never used iNews, so I can't say much about that. But the software that we use it's called ENPS. It's where, like, you can, like, see your, like, scripts, and you can see, like, the rundown format of, like, what's happening throughout the show. So yeah, I forgot what I used in college.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's definitely not the two that you mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, like, all automation pretty much works like this, where, like, what you're having to do, like, in the script, so producers will put in the graphics that they want, say, for, like, monitor shots and stuff, and we have to do something called coding. And what coding is you have to, like, plug in your audio source. You have to plug in, like, the camera position you want, because everything is, like, robotic. So that's the stuff I was doing in Memphis, and I continued on, and now I'm doing that in Charlotte, just in a bigger market. And so, like, say currently, we have like 10 different cameras in the studio, and the producer will be like, they'll put stuff in the rundown, where they'll be like, all right, I want Molly, the anchor, to be on camera 5, just like a no OTS shot, basically how I'm framed right now. So then I'll have to put in like in the coding, like in the rundown, I'll have to put in like camera 5, position 2, and what that is like on the camera controller itself. You can save as many different types of shots as you can, like that the camera controller allows. And basically, when it gets to that spot, it'll like automatically frame it up for you. So like I said, there's nobody running cameras in the studio, so the director is actually the one doing it. So you put in your camera position, you plug in your audio, and then if it's a monitor shot, you have to put in whatever source that's coming from. They say the automation is easier. It's easier to have cleaner shows and stuff, but you are gonna, like, it's gonna happen. You're gonna mess up. I've messed up plenty of times. You just got to get through it and find ways to get back on track. So I mean, so that's one thing. You like in the real, like, don't be afraid to mess up. Like even, like in college, I mean, I still messed up today. It's gonna happen. Like, we're not perfect. You're not gonna be perfect, but yeah. So I've been in Charlotte for coming up on 2 years now, and I direct the I do because it changes all the time. So I work 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. So in news, in news, oh, that's my dog. Be quiet. But yeah, so in news, you work like weird hours and stuff. Like 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. is really not terrible. But I've worked stuff like 3 p.m. to midnight. When I was in Memphis, I worked 3 a.m. till 12 p.m., which I actually liked that schedule. I liked doing the morning shows and stuff, because when it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you have the rest of the day to do whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Yep.
When you get off work. But getting up is the hard part. But so in Charlotte here, I direct a lifestyle type of show. It's our 3 p.m. show. It's like an hour long. So I do that, and then I do the 5 p.m. news show, and then then at 7 o'clock for that entire hour, I also direct, like, it's kind of like a news and a lifestyle show in a way. It's a bit different, but I also direct that. So I've done like all sorts of different schedules and shifts and stuff. But no, like Charlotte's great, and I have not done here in Charlotte really is sports production. I haven't done much of that. When I lived in Memphis, I did do a lot of sports production out there because my schedule allowed it. Because like I said, I worked 3 a.m. till noon, and so basically, like a month into me going to Memphis, I somehow got connections basically right away from my boss at the time. Because like they needed help with a production company called Running Pony, where like they needed help like with they needed a director to like direct a football game there for like the video board. So I volunteered for that, and that's how like it got started for me to do a lot of sports production down in Memphis. So like in sports production, it's a bit different than news, because like there are things that are automated in sports production, but in sports production you have to have manned cameras and stuff, because there's a lot of moving parts and stuff like that. So in Memphis I directed all different sports. So like I did football, baseball. Baseball is one of my absolute favorite sports to direct.
That's my favorite sport ever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also like one of the hardest sports to direct, but it's fun. Cause like you have to tell the camera operators like different, they have multiple assignments, like depending on where they are, like on the field. Like, like the camera, like the third base line versus like behind home plate, like way up, or like first base, or just, especially when you have limited cameras, like say you have like 4 or 5 different camera operators. Yeah, they have to, you have to be on it. Like,
yes.
Like at all times during that. So yeah, baseball is definitely one of my favorites. And then I also directed soccer. Soccer is probably the easiest sport to direct, because most of the time you have to, like, you want to stay on like a wide shot.
Yeah.
And you're telling the camera operator, and they should know this already, but you're like the camera operator, they're like constantly like zooming in as it gets closer to like the goal on, like, say on the right side, and then you just have to follow the ball at all times, obviously.
Yep.
With like, you have different like cutaways also.
So that'd kind of be like the same for basketball.
Yeah, basketball is very similar. Yeah. It's a little bit harder than soccer, but yeah, they're very, very similar. And then I've done football. Football is also pretty fun to direct. It's kind of in a way like baseball, as far as like there's a lot of moving parts and stuff in that. And then I've done volleyball. What else have I done? That might be it, actually. But I definitely do miss like directing sports and stuff. I haven't had the chance to do any of that out here in Charlotte because of my schedule, because I work evenings. Games happen in evenings.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I would love to get back into like working sports and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome. So would you do you think that, I don't know if you said, did you do like news workshop, or you did sports workshop, right?
I did both.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, that kind of helped you prepare for, the jobs coming out of VSU? Did those kind of help you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly does. Like I said before, I knew when I was in college I wanted to be a director. And so like, I remember, quiet. I mean, hold on. Come here. Come on. Nope. Come on. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Oh, forgot I haven't known that door. Get back in there. Come on. All right. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I have a dog too. I know.
Yeah. So in college, what helped my my career path is because, like I said, I wanted to be a director, and being a director, like, you have to know all the different positions and stuff. Obviously running prompter, audio, graphics, and camera operation. So what I enjoyed about like news workshop or sports workshop, like especially news, that when I was in those classes, I think I had, was it Mr. Brown? I think it was Mr. Brown or Conway. It's my dog again. But I enjoyed, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Rocco, stop. Oh, being that crazy. But yeah, so I enjoyed getting to run different positions in college because that definitely did help me for my career path.
Yeah.
For directing. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think doing sports workshop twice really, really helped me to try to move forward in what I want to do. I definitely want to be on camera, you know, sports reporter, something like that. So a lot of the times I was an anchor and I did sideline reporting a couple of times for the productions that we did. So I think it's really like boosted my confidence, I would say, in wanting to pursue being on camera.
Yeah. So I can't remember, but back in college, because you said you want to be on camera and you've done anchoring sometimes in college. Like something called like an IFB.
No, we had mic packs and we just hook like lav mics on and we would just read off of a prompter.
Yeah. So no, I was saying that because I mean, in the real world, yeah, obviously they're gonna wear mics and stuff, but then they also wear like an earpiece, like during like a newscast. And they wear that because communication is very important, you know, in this business. We're like the producer, because we don't have floor directors anymore, and it's even more important. We don't have floor directors because of the automation. And even before, when we did have floor directors, they still would have to wear like an earpiece because what that does, it actually allows them to hear the show.
Okay.
Like, it allows them to hear the show, what's going on. When there's like reporters out in the field, they can hear them, and just different elements throughout the show. But then also, the earpiece allows them to hear like different direction that's going on in the show. Like first, like if I'm trying to tell the anchor, hey, you need to move over to this position. This is your next camera shot. So that's important. And then also the producers talk to the talent. Like they talk to the talent way more than a director does. Because you know producers obviously they write the show, so communication is very important as far as like the producer and the anchor, because so they work, those two, like they work even more closely together because you know like the anchor, they're the ones that are reading what the anchor or what the producer wrote. Yeah, so they definitely talk a lot more. That's what that earpiece. Like I said, it's called an IFB. That's what that's for. But
yeah, I think the closest we've come to that is the floor director just like cueing us, basically listening to the director and cueing us whenever we have to, you know, go live or whatever. So yeah, I haven't had any experience with that yet.
Yeah. So I'm constantly like at my job, like because there is no floor director anymore. I'm constantly like telling them like what's coming up next. I'd be like, all right, camera 6 next, or camera 2 at the alum. Alum is like the position in the studio at my job, so we just call it that. But so that's definitely important. Even more so now than like the old school way. Now with automation, like have you been in a control room in college where like have you had a chance to like direct or even produce?
I haven't directed. I have what have I done? I haven't directed or produced, but I've been in there when people have, so I've watched.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I'm sure you saw the equipment that they use, right? It's like this big old board. If I remember correctly, unless y'all upgraded, but it's called like a new tech TriCaster.
Yep.
And so like it's like this huge switcher.
Mm-hmm.
So like we still have a switcher now, but we hardly ever touch it. Like as a director, I hardly ever touch it because through automation, you're literally just using a computer keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
And like you hit spacebar a lot to advance like to like the next thing. Like you're literally hitting spacebar on the keyboard to do a show. So it's kind of weird. I mean, it's not weird anymore, but it was at first when we first started doing automation.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
Okay. So our meeting is about to end, and I just want to really thank you again for doing this for me. It was quite a rough journey, but I'm really glad that you did this for me, and I really enjoyed our conversation. So, um, just thank you.
Fun. Yeah, and now, I mean, obviously you added me on LinkedIn, so you have a connection there. So I think that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important, when you're especially trying to get into the business.
Definitely.
Try to build as many connections as possible, because that'll help you get into the business. And then it'll just continue on like growing and growing and growing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, try to make as many connections as possible with people, and that'll help you get out. Because like to me, the first job, like getting into the business, that's the hardest part about getting into the career.
Yeah.
But once you're into the career, like and you meet more and more people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm on my third station, my third city and stuff. And I mean, I know so many people in this business now. And so yeah, try to build as many connections as possible, and it'll help you out for sure.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing what else you do. So.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye.